Can Transformers repair their wounds with the one-click scanning function? Why didn't the Oil Tanker Megatron scan and transform into a new vehicle? As we all know, as long as a Cybertronian mechanical body has a transformation cog, it can use the one-click scanning function to obtain a new transformation form. The objects that can be scanned with this function are quite diverse. It's not just limited to vehicles like cars and airplanes. Various electronic devices are also okay, and they can even scan and transform into animal forms. For example, the Maximals in Transformers, Rise of the Beasts transformed into beast forms by scanning animals such as gorillas, eagles, rhinos, and leopards. The one-click scanning function of Transformers has a characteristic. No matter how worn out their original bodies are, they will be completely refreshed after scanning. Take Optimus Prime when he first appeared in Transformers, Age of Extinction as an example. He was ambushed by Lockdown and the Cemetery Win Team before, suffered serious injuries, and his body was covered in rust. Later, he scanned a passing white truck. Not only did his vehicle form become brand new, but his robot form also looked shiny, and the health level of his body directly recovered to 100%. So, can Transformers really repair their wounds with the one-click scanning function? Well, it depends on the situation. If a Transformer only suffers external injuries, such as damage to the shell of the Cybertronian mechanical body, it can indeed use the one-click scanning to repair its body. However, if the injury is more serious, especially functional damage to the body, it cannot be repaired through scanning. Even if the shell looks good after scanning, the inside of the body is still severely damaged, and it doesn't really help. However, it should be noted that in Transformers, Age of Extinction, Optimus Prime was in extremely bad condition at the beginning. Not only was he covered in rust, but he could hardly stand steadily, and he even spat out green liquid from his mouth, which was similar to a human spitting blood, obviously indicating internal injuries. Later, thanks to Cade Yeager, the male protagonist, who helped repair his body, he was able to recover. Even though his body still looked worn out, he could fight Lockdown alone. So, it was only when his body was in good health that Optimus Prime used the one-click scanning function to make his shell look brand new. Now let's look at Megatron in Transformers, Dark of the Moon. His vehicle form changed from the original imposing Cybertronian jet and flying tank to a shabby oil tanker. Although it looked quite cool and had a post-apocalyptic style, the oil tanker didn't carry any weapon systems and had little destructive power. Why didn't he use the one-click scanning function to transform into a fighter jet or a tank? This is because Megatron's body was already severely damaged at that time. In Transformers, Megatron was blown up by the Allspark and died, and his spark suffered irreversible damage. Later, he was severely injured by Jetfire and Optimus Prime. Not only was half of his head blasted off, but his chest was also seriously damaged by Optimus Prime's engine cannon. So in Transformers, Dark of the Moon, even if a bunch of mass-produced deformed scalpels tried to repair his injuries, it was still in vain. In such a physical condition, it would be useless for Megatron to scan and transform into a new vehicle. Moreover, his strength had reached its lowest point at that time. The safest way was to disguise and hide himself instead of transforming into a shiny new vehicle and attracting the attention of the Autobots or humans. Therefore, transforming into a shabby oil tanker was his best choice.